on air.
Hello, Crime Stoppers.
Welcome to the Porch Party,
You know,
man.
Blosses never sound more alive than when she's on that squeeze box. I tell you, her fingers floated like,
I just want
an amazing
people to notice
sight.
you're watching us on YouTube. I'm in my own zero gravity chair now.
We are now dueling zero gravity chairs.
You've seen the podcast been rebranded as Porch Party and Zero Gravity
He
here.
saw how enjoyable my life was at zero gravity and said, "Hey, give me some of that too."
And I found this chair in my basement that my wife never used, so I
Wow.
figured, what the heck, I'm bringing it over.
If I found something in my basement that my wife said, never used, I'd be really impressed because I have neither the wife nor anything I've never used.
Okay, now, on the podcast, if you look at the logo, it says, with Mark and the Dude. So we have to say who the dude is.
Right. The dude is this orange four-legged monster who may or may not come out here. I don't know. He's talking to his agent right now about an unsolicited appearance fee.
We're putting him in the podcast without his permission.
Right. There's a
using
whole lot
his
of legal
name
stuff.
and the title.
He's just sent out lawyers, guns, and money. He said, "Listen, this free stuff doesn't happen anymore." So how the dude got to be here? The dude used to be called Peanut. At my mother's house, she got Peanut when he was literally the size of a goober. He was a little tiny kitty, like, I don't know, week old, 5 days old. And that was her second cat named Peanut. She had a Peanut and a Bert. And the original Peanut ate a whole bunch of garbage bags. He actually tried to eat a frozen turkey once. He had a lot of dietary issues. He ended up not making it. Then Bert lasted quite a while. And then he had some kidney stuff that Dr. Jim had to take care of. Then my mom got some stuff. And then she couldn't take care of that. So after her passing, I inherited Peanut.
Well, no, you don't inherit a cat.
Okay.
A cat adopts you.
Yes.
Peanut adopted you.
What had happened, right, he could not longer stay in the abandoned house. We were selling it, so...
Well, it was all his, because she left everything to the
Technically,
cat.
yeah, because all I got was Aldi bags and a bunch of stuff from Hobby Lobby.
Yeah.
So a cat must have all the money. I'm hoping he buried it somewhere, and that maybe one of these days he's going to show me where the gold is, because all I got were Aldi bags and... bunch of painting kits from Hobby Lobby.
I think it's some silver cookie sheets and baking
that
equipment.
must be it because I got squadoosh out of that deal. But yeah, so he got over here. He was very afraid because he'd never really been in the car before because Dr. Jim gives great home vet care. And so he was totally terrified. Got here, ran upstairs into the bathroom, and apparently stayed there for 3 days. I was
3 days in the bath. He didn't have to go. He just was hanging out.
Oh, no. He did have to go, and he went. He had not been trained for the toilet, so he still is not trained for the toilet. So he just kind of filled up this.
Here he comes. Are you going to get in the camera here, dude?
Yeah, he's
no
blissfully indifferent. So anyway, yeah. So 3 days upstairs,
well.
he let loose on this little carpet apparently, and but then apparently food was what the trigger was. We actually lured him down with some food, and then he kind of said, "Oh my God, look how big this house is. Let's go check it out." And after he checked out the house, then he became the dude. Because then, instead of being afraid of everybody and biting everybody in the ankles and stuff, he just kind of really relaxed and said, "Oh, man, I got this place." And now he goes outside, so he's sitting here right by me.
When did he start with this desire to be an outdoor cat? Because I like to keep cats indoors. I think they live longer, they're healthier. But he decided at some point...
Yeah. So
the inside was
I
not
do
enough.
remember this at my mom's house. The cat, we had the traditional cat has a collar, and there was a leash on a line out in the backyard. It had this like clothesline, and you would hook this leash up to it, so the cat could roam on this leash. He had maybe like 15 feet of side to side, and maybe like 20, 30 feet long. Anyway, the cat would never go outside. We tried a couple times, wasn't having it. Then the first day we had him out front. And he's crying. He's like, "Oh my God, I'm going to die out here. I'm going to die." And all of a sudden, he's like, "Wait a minute, I'm not dead." And then he took one step down the stairs. And so I said, "I'm going to cry. I'm dying. Oh, I'm not dead." Another step. So it took him like 20 minutes to get down the stairs. And then when he's down the stairs, like, "Whoa, look at this world." And then he ran under the car for about 3 hours. So
in the street. He was on the street.
No, in the parking. And we had a driveway.
Driveway.
So, yeah, he sat on the car for 3 hours. Then we're like, how we get him back in? Then he eventually came back in. But he was never, at my mom's house, that was like a one-off. He was never really interested in going outside. And yet somehow he got here, and he's just like, hey, there's a lot of jungle out here. And so, 3 days upstairs, he let loose on this little carpet apparently, and then he kind of filled up this. And then he became the dude. So he just wanted to go out once. I thought he'd stay on the porch, and I think same thing. He kind of made it down the stairs, says, "Hey, I'm not dead yet," and now he's got a range of about 10 houses. He's met some dogs out there.
Yeah.
He's definitely met a raccoon. He has. I don't think he's seen the coyote yet. He has seen plenty
Any
of
skunks
squirrels.
in his
No
life?
skunks in his
No.
past, but 3 chipmunks have met their demise with him this year. No mice. He has not caught a mouse this year yet.
That you know of.
No, he brings them back.
He brings it back.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a personal thing. He shows them. He goes, "Look what I got."
Yeah.
And so he's out there now prowling. He's been for the summer.
Well, there is another prey that he really likes, the little orange triangles.
Yes, he loves Doritos. He also the spicy ones, the Tampico ones, are his real specialty. I think it's the salt.
Why would he like spicy ones?
Because
That
the
is
salt.
bizarre.
The salt it's a spice. The hot stuff is a spice. It's all salt. And he just goes berserko. So there was a little girl here, a little Palmer, 2 summers ago before COVID, and she'd come over and she kept going, "Orange kitty, orange kitty, orange kitty." They'd see him in the window and then they'd see him outside. She's like, "Oh my God, oh my God." The kid's like losing it. And so I'm talking to the mom and I said, this cat will do almost anything for Doritos. And so like the next time they came by and her little, it's a 2-year-old kid in a stroller with those little
Snack bags.
snack packs of Doritos, and they didn't think it was real. And I'm like, "Oh, watch this." Open the bag, and I'll see the dude, and he comes down the stairs, and he's like standing in front of her. She gives him one, and he like takes it and eats it. And that happens like 5 times. The kid's like going nuts, but now she's got the Doritos, whatever, the dust on her fingers. He licked her fingers, and oh my God, she's out of her mind. And then the cat's after 5. Cat's like, "Oh, I'm done," and like, "Oh, that's too bad." I go, "The cat's not that bright. I'll show him another one." So he gets all the way to the top of the stairs, Doritos, and he repeats that. He had fully forgotten. He just ate Doritos and was tired of them. He ate another 5, and then I'm like, and I said, "You can just lay him out. He'll eat them," and whatever. She thought that was the funniest thing, and so at the end, we explained to her that.
Now I'm just
Yes.
going to throw in a disclaimer
Sure.
here. I do not recommend the feeding of Doritos.
No,
to
I
cats.
wouldn't either. But this cat's
as a professional
special
veterinarian.
needs. And then, well, the funny part was, so once we told little Palmer that it wasn't Orange Kitty, his name was Dude. So she goes dude, 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 dude. So like when you'd hear her coming, like she's so excited to see the dude. She's right around the corner. So they would come by like 3 times a day. Dude, 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 dude. You'd hear her coming. The cat's like, "Okay," and he runs out there because he knows he's getting Doritos. And then one of the days, I don't know, first second time we did all this, she's leaving and she's waving goodbye, and she says, "Bye bye, ho ho." And I said, "Ho ho," and she goes, "Yeah, she thinks you're Santa." So it became Ho Ho and the Dude. So she would come down here, "Ho Ho dude," and they would just down the street.
Why would she think you're Santa?
I have no idea. And it was she was such a sweetie. And then they moved away. They whatever. Husband was some kind of corporate
so
executive.
no more Doritos for the dude now.
Oh, no, there's plenty of Doritos. No, I actually am off the Doritos. What happened, we occasionally have poker games here, and the guys will actually bring the hot, spicy stuff. And the cat just goes berserk. He just will not stop. The Tampico, really hot Doritos. He likes Cool Ranch. He'll do Cool Ranch. He also likes, right now I have these hint of lime. Really big fan of the lime ones.
Lime tortilla
and
chips.
also the pretzels, too, because these are bold and zesty pretzels from Aldi. He will, it's something about that's his onion and the garlic. He just,
That's his carbs, and I don't want him to get too many carbs because he's going to blow it up
well,
again.
I don't give him too many chips. I give him
Yeah.
1 or 2
Okay.
a day. That's it.
And I think it's weird that he likes the lime because typically cats don't like citrus at all.
I think it's the salt, Jim. I don't think it has anything to do with
you're
the
probably
flavor.
right. It's the
He
salt.
just says, "I smell salt."
If he'll sit there and eat the spicy Doritos, which
Yes.
make my mouth burn.
And then, well, the best is he likes Middle Eastern. He likes shawarma. You come in his house with shawarma, look out. He will eat so you keep him away, you lock him up, you eat your meal, you take the wrapper, which is nothing on it, and you throw it out. And the cat's in the garbage, eating the wrapper. He's eating the paper that the shawarma came in. He cannot get enough. He's out of his mind. He's just loses it completely. He's like, "I'm getting something out of this deal." So he'll turn the garbage can upside down just to get at that stuff. He's nuts. He's got to have it. That's what I'm saying. The neighbor's got all these ideas about cat maintenance. Good luck. This cat has massive skills.
Now, does he Does he ever spend a night outside, or is he?
No, no. Once, by accident, we have this whole policy now that there will be a check-in. Make sure the cat's inside, or if you're not sure, you leave the door open a crack. So luckily, no possums or muskrats or voles have taken that opportunity to walk in and raid the house. But yeah, only once. I think the door he bolted out, and my roommate kind of forgot that happened, so he closed the door. So in the morning, I go looking for the cat. He's not around. All of a sudden, and he's like right by the window. He's looking into it. He's like, you get up and get that door open. I got this. And so he's on the porch. He was a porch. I don't think he was like roaming the neighborhood. That's my fear, is that he would say, oh, this is closed. I better go find a new home. That would be sad.
Well, I mean, cats, when they're outdoors, they do develop a territory. And it's possible that there may be other people he's convinced to give them food.
I can't rule it out, because he is quite a charmer. And he does parlor tricks. He can do sleight of hand. He can make whole cans of cat food disappear in mere seconds. And I can't rule it out. He's resourceful.
So that's the one thing I'm worried about, because he's got the issue with the kidney stones, or the kidney crystals, or bladder crystals, I should say, that form.
Yep.
So he's on a special diet, which, to me, eating mice and chipmunks is natural diet.
Right.
I don't think that's going to affect things
That's native, yeah.
If he's not developed the crystals with the Doritos, we know the Doritos are probably safe as long as he doesn't overdo them.
Right. I mean, he's only getting one Dorito.
Again,
it's
I'm not
like you give him half a
recommending
bag,
feeding
we split
cats
it.
that have crystal urea, crystals in their urine.
What do you think about
Doritos.
popcorn? Unsalted. We're talking. This is just like
See, now
your
the salt
popcorn.
actually is good, because the salt makes him drink more water, which
Okay.
dilutes his urine, which makes him less likely to form the
This
crystals.
cat loves popcorn. I think it's the hot air. There's something about the way that it's like moist or something. He just goes berserk.
I've known cats that eat popcorn. I've had cats that like popcorn. Again, until you give him something and then the next day he's squatting in a litter box because he can't pee,
Yeah.
it's safe. Once he does that,
and that's always been my thing. If I'm squatting in the litter box and I can't pee, then I'm going to have a problem. But no, he's actually everything in moderation. One or two, and then he actually gets disinterested. Although I will say, last Monday, a week ago, I did see Fast and Furious 9. On a rare occasion, I did buy the movie theater popcorn because they had free refills.
Oh yes, I saw that till
Yes.
the end of the month or something.
No, they always do.
Oh, they
At
always
Classic Thin.
Oh, Classic.
Yes,
Okay.
not AOC.
Yeah.
So anyway, I of course get there early. I buy one bowl of popcorn, the medium before the movie. I have one during the movie, and you can get one for the road. So I got one for the road, and I bring it back here, and this cat went. Oh, there you go. There you go.
No. We're gonna put you on camera so people
Yeah,
can
there you
see
go, so people can see how lovely you are.
All right, we're gonna switch over to my camera because he's sitting with me. Oh, he really does not like to be on camera.
I don't think. Well, I think it might have been the way you. Not
The
that
way
you
I
did
picked him up,
anything
that I
wrong.
grabbed
You
him-
didn't do
grabbed
anything
him.
wrong. He has his own method for coming up and visiting.
Yeah, so he's not going to come visit me again because I made him look at the camera.
Yeah, you forced the
Oh,
issue.
look at you.
He's
You're
like,
such a friendly
if I
guy.
had front claws, I'd really let you have it, but I don't. So there you
Okay,
go.
there he goes.
And see, no. So anyway, we had a full bowl or whatever, full container of movie time popcorn. Again, no extra butter, just factory issued, nothing added in there. He went nuts. He was just like, oh, it's my size. So he must have hit that thing like 20 minutes of popcorn eating.
Wow.
So there's something in the, well, I guess it's oils too, right? Because that's really made, it's not a hot air popper. See, my stuff is hot air.
Yeah, the fat probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
He was just like, hey, go do that again. Go to the movie. And I will be going to the movie tomorrow because I am going to see my new girlfriend in Black Widow. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
I have seen Black
She
Widow.
looked at me right in the theater
Scarlett's
and she
your
said,
girlfriend.
Scarlett Johansson said, I think it's time for us to announce our relationship and take it to the next level. I said, Scarlett, yes, I agree,
Okay.
because clearly you and I have a chemistry that, we need to explore.
I'm not going to give any spoilers, so people can continue watching. You don't have
It's
to
in
turn it off.
Russian. Learn your
There
Cyrillic.
is some Russian, but it's a good movie. It's not the best Marvel movie, but
What
they've
is
been.
the best Marvel movie, Jim? Not to digress.
Okay.
Not you.
If I were to go and say my best movie, Thor
Yeah.
Ragnarok was one of my favorites.
Okay.
For the comedic part of it, I mean, that was what I really liked, was the humor in that with the Hulk and everything.
Yeah.
And of course, was Jeff Goldblum, hilarious in that movie. So I like that one. I also liked the Ant-Man. I think that was a pretty good one. I did not like. No, I'm not like as much as the other ones. I did not like Infinity War and Endgame duology, whatever you
Okay.
call that, because I did not like the fact that they ended the first one with killing off half the Avengers. And I didn't like Infinity War because they killed off Iron Man. What the heck?
Well, yeah, but in theory, the way these things go, Jim, and you kids out there, if you're watching Fast and Furious 9, get ready for it.
Is it a spoiler?
A lot of the people that you thought were gone are not gone.
Okay.
They're
All right.
just away. So
I
maybe
can't
this
see
is
Iron
an
Man coming
opportunity
back,
for,
but maybe they can.
But maybe they'll go to a prequel. They'll have like a some new Iron Man that they hadn't had before. I
Or
don't
some
know.
flashbacks with Iron Man.
Yeah,
in the scenes.
when my acting career, I never thought I'd get tired of making multi-millions of dollars. Apparently, Robert Downey Jr. got tired of making $1 gazillion. It bored him. So he said, no, I don't need to do this anymore.
Well, here's something that I did not know. Remember I think it was Iron Man 2, the guy Hammer Time, his competitor?
Yes.
He was originally up for playing Iron Man. He was up for Robert Downey Jr.'s role.
Oh, wow.
He didn't get it, but they put him in the second movie because I guess they liked him. But I could see him as Iron Man.
That that was the Hammer guy? Wasn't that he was in 9.5 Weeks? Wasn't that him?
No.
Oh.
No, not that guy.
Hammer guy.
Anyway, I forget his name, but Justin Hammer, I think, was his character.
Oh.
Everyone else, write in the comments, send us the email something to correct us if we get it wrong.
We are definitely, we could look it up, but it's more fun to be.
Oh, if we had our director here,
wrong.
She could be looking it up
That's
on the
true.
computer, feeding it to our earpieces. We don't have earpieces, but if we had earpieces, she could be feeding it to our earpieces.
What? Oh, yeah, him. Yeah, no. No,
but that's not happening.
We're going natural. Like, I'm just surprised the train hasn't come by. I think this.
Oh, you jinxed it now, man.
No,
You've jinxed the train.
North American record. There are more trains by the end of the week. Monday is probably a pretty good day for trains.
All right, but now we're on the topic. What's your favorite Marvel movie?
Well, I kind of got into Infinity War because it's amazing because I am not a comic book guy at all. So, like, I have to just go by the movies. And I will say, I think it was the, which Iron Man? It was the Iron Man where he, with the little kid. I think that was the third one.
Yeah, I think that was Iron Man 3.
Not a segue. I'm not saying that's my favorite Iron Man. I will a little segue there because when it opens up at one of these theaters where they have 65 screens showing it simultaneously, somehow I had a ticket in my hand and I walked into the wrong theater. And not only was it halfway over, but it was in 3D. So when I came in,
wait a minute. So you noticed it was in 3D because everything was blurry.
Yeah. So I'm in there, but again, I walk in. I was a little tired. This is before time when I actually had like a real job. I walked in, early on a Friday, maybe 6 o'clock. I walk into the theater. It's blurry. It's 3D, and they're talking about the Mandalorian. I think is in that one. The crazy guy, the Asian. I think that was the third. Not the Mandalorian from Star Wars. I think it was the
Mandalorian's not in
the Mandarin.
Marvel.
The Mandarin. I'm sorry, the Mandarin. It's in where the guy was pretending to be this.
Oh,
terrorist.
right. Yes.
So of course, when you walk halfway through and they're starting to talk about it, I'm like, have I missed the movie here?
Yeah.
Because I don't know who any of these characters are or what the plot is, and this is the right. So I said I can understand, because it was like 6:02 when I hit it. So I said, okay, did I miss the opening credits? Who are all these people? I missed the opening credits, and they're like, oh, no, sir, this movie started at 4:30. You walked into the wrong theater. So I had to actually go see it again, and it made a lot more sense.
Yeah, Ben Kingsley was the Mandarin.
Yes, and unfortunately, when you catch the movie halfway, that's a movie you have to see at the beginning. I liked the Endgame kind of thing. And again, snapping your fingers and figuring out how they're going to do it. There's just so many characters. I mean, now every character has their own spin-off movie, and
I will say in Endgame, I did like how they did the time travel thing.
Right, the Cumberbatch thing and all that.
They went back to get all the pieces, and then they had to go put them back.
I'm still a sucker for the first Iron Man. I mean, that thing.
That was good. That was good. I'd have to put that in my top 3.
Talk about hooking a guy in. I mean, I was probably going to look at all this stuff and say, really, do I need any of this in my life? Yeah, I did. And so I've been in foreign countries. I've actually seen Ant and Wasp in Romania. I actually went in, and apparently, if you guys are out there traveling in Romania, all the movies are in English. So when they say subtitled movie, they're not subbing it in English. They're subbing in Romanian. Like, it is an English movie. They say, do not think that we're like, no, we're a small country. It's in English. Subtitles
Yeah.
if you want it.
How do the people in Romania? They speak English, or they?
Yeah, they do. English is actually the language of currency. If you'd like to make money in the world, brush up on your English. Don't be walking somewhere thinking that tourists are going to know Romanian, because that's like learning Latin. There's no call for it.
Yeah, here it comes, man.
Unless you're a gypsy. Oh, we have a train coming in.
Here's the train.
This is it sounds like an express with the clanking of the bell.
I think it's coming out of the Brookfield station there.
About eight cars in our commuter line. Yeah, so I was in Romania. I went to see Ant and Wasp, and it was glorious. And then I saw another one actually too when I was in Constanta. You're on the Black Sea. There was another. I can't remember which one they were showing, but it was. I had a car in Romania. Best decision I ever made. Romania is not a country that is really got a lot of train and bus lines. They really don't. And once you get over the cost of that, oh my God, the freedom! I got into so many places. There's actually a salt mine in was it Cluj-Napoca. You go down in this salt mine. They have an amusement park under the ground.
Jeez.
You are 60 to 100 feet under the ground. You take this, and they have this huge area where they were mining salt. And once they shut the salt mine down, they put an amusement park with a Ferris wheel, with bowling,
Underground.
with boats. There's actually water at the bottom. You can get into a little boat ride, and you are like 100. And so, of course, I heard about this. You got your little internet, you got your little phone. Okay, I'm there, and I'm in line because it was like a really rainy, cruddy Sunday, and I'm standing in line for like an hour waiting to get in because I got nothing better to do. I get in, and you start with a salt mine tour. They show you the equipment, and of course, it's in English and in Romanian, and you run around, and I'm like, I thought there was like an amusement park, like what's going on here? Like I was lost, and there's this old guy in a chair, and he just kind of goes, this door, and you open the door. Yep, you open the door, and you go down like 7 steps, and there's an elevator, and you get on. And you can't believe it. You open the there's glass panes in the elevator. You see all these levels of real mining equipment. And then this neon light shows up, and they had ping pong tables. They had the Ferris wheel. They had bowling lanes. They had pinball machines. They had arcade rides for little kiddies. They had boats. All of this was under the ground.
And how big was this elevator big enough to have gotten these rides down, or did they have some other way?
No, they had to have built them. They had to have built them in place.
I know, but to get the pieces in, I mean, the Ferris wheel has some pretty big pieces, I'm guessing.
Well, but again, if you put something on top of the elevator, like you'd have all that space, and they drop it down. Maybe they slide it out somehow. But maybe they have another entrance. Who knows?
I bet there had to be another entrance.
But it was an awesome thing to see, this underground amusement park in Cluj-Napoca, Romania, and a lot of gypsies in Romania. We always hear about the gypsies here in Stickney. A lot of gypsies, and there was a gypsy sign on the highway.
Yeah.
And horse-drawn gypsies, because man, you're doing like whatever 80, and you come ripping around a corner, and there's some dude in a horse-drawn cart in the right-hand lane. You're like, whoa! Almost blew up this gypsy family. Oh my God. Yeah.
Now this is interesting because we started with Marvel movies.
Yeah.
And we got the Romania.
And we never got so my Marvel. Yeah, I would say I like Ant and Wasp a lot. I think it has to do with Wasp, her general.
She's
appearance.
pretty hot. Yeah.
Same thing with the one coming up. I can't think of its name now. It's gone away. I'm old.
I'm gonna put a shout out for Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
I knew nothing about that, and I enjoyed it immensely. And that's one you can bring the kids to with the wood creature and all that. I think it plays well. If they can get you to buy a raccoon with a semi-automatic machine gun or laser pistol, whatever, you believe anything, and that's just wonderful.
Now, I did not realize at first that the raccoon is Bradley Cooper does that voice.
I did not know that either.
I saw that on, because I recently did a whole review of all the movies.
Oh, did you? There was the one I did not get into the Ultron, whatever. I don't understand is something.
Now that was James Spader.
Yeah, I'm not
the voice of Ultron.
Yeah, I'm not that whatever that was. And then any of the Fantastic Fours, I'm in trouble. Age of Ultron, I'm in trouble with all that. I'm not getting this whole site.
They lost their way for a while there, and then
right. Didn't the one guy? I don't know. It's the one with God, what's her name? What is the movie that's just coming out today? Or it came
Today,
out the
the
9th.
Black Widow.
Black Widow. Okay, Black Widow was with this other guy that had this light source in him.
No, see, that was Wanda was with him. Wanda and her brother. She was the
See, I'm
witch.
totally
Had
lost
the
at
witching
this.
powers.
Yes. Oh, okay. Because then when they took the crystal to the guy, put the gemstone and killed him.
Yeah.
Whatever. That whole character was lost on me.
Well, of course, they bring him back in WandaVision, which
I
you
did
haven't
not
seen because you don't
right.
have
I haven't
Disney
seen
Plus.
WandaVision because I am poor and I live here in this hole in the ground. But we are thinking of a way to get me to see all of that because I feel like I'm a little behind. But yeah, so I do know I like Marvel. I think it's a nice franchise. They can make $1 gazillion by pumping these movies out.
Doesn't matter what they put out; it's going to make some money.
As long as there's a continuity to it, yeah, people will go.
Here's another one that I really liked:
Okay.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Have you seen that one?
Yes, I will say. Was that the animated one?
Yes, that was the animated one. They did an excellent story.
I actually did not see that in the theaters. I actually rented Redbox for that. I had heard it had such high ratings, and I said, "Oh, how good could it be?" It was good.
It was good.
It was good, and I was like, "Holy cow, that's amazing!"
And
But the Spider-Man, the whole thing, I think the problem I have is if I had superpowers, and not to say that I don't, I would exploit them. I'm not a person that would be troubled by having superpowers. Spider-Man seems to be troubled always by trying to do the right thing. If I was Spider-Man, I'd be grabbing up on those chicks. I would just say, "I'm sorry, babe. I'm Spider-Man. Let me take you around the city." Lois, she doesn't want to be with you. That doesn't matter. I'm Spider-Man now. Imagine Spider-Man's mentality with Iron Man. Iron Man's sensibilities. That would be lovely. He could fly. He could do all that.
The big problem I have with the new Spider-Man is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man to me. He did a really good job rebooting Spider-Man from the animated series.
Correct.
And then they came out with that second reboot, which was awful.
Not all reboots are built the same.
Yeah.
Yes.
And of course, James Franco with Tobey Maguire was really good, and Willem Dafoe, he was good. And then I wish but Tobey Maguire got too old, I guess, and they had to bring in this British kid.
Yeah, and it's all escapism. I guess we want who we want. Who's the best Batman? Who's the best Superman?
The first one. God, I can't remember his name now.
The cripple guy?
No. Michael Keaton.
Best Batman? Really?
I think so.
You don't like? I liked the one that fought Bane. I think that Batman's a little more.
See, like.
I can't even think.
This is the great part of the podcast where we try to remember actors' names.
This is what happens when you get old, people. Is that it's right there on the tip of your tongue. I had it. I'm sure I had it when I was watching the movies. That's been a few years now, and good luck pulling that back in.
God, it's gonna.
Assistants.
But we saw the three things with the Batman.
We're gonna edit this back in. What? Oh.
So when we saw the Bane one, we went to that night thing where we did all three movies in one night.
Correct.
Started at, I want to say 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Because the other one couldn't play until midnight because that was technically Friday morning.
It didn't start at 8. It started at 7.
7?
Or 6. I think it was actually 6.
You think it's 4 hours per movie?
Because the problem was it was 3. It was close to 2.5 or 3 hours per movie. Then you had like an hour break between the movies to go get food or whatever, or sleep, as we were trying to do.
Yeah.
And so you had, so we're in these 2 of the 3 movies. So we get to midnight. We're destroyed, and there are people been waiting out this entire time out in the lobby because they won't pay the extra $20 to see the first 2. So then at midnight, these lunatics come in, and then now it's totally jammed. Every seat is absolutely taken, and we had hot dogs and tortillas and nachos just for something. I got home and it was like and then we had to go to work the next day.
It was like 3, 4 in the morning.
Yeah,
it was not Thursday night.
It was it was not a banner Friday for
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale, yes, Christian Bale. I thought he was okay. I mean, I think
his first one was good. Once you get into the second one, because the first one was like Chicago, the second one looked like New York. The third one, I don't know what it looked like. It was crazy.
Yeah, I will agree.
They're driving a nuclear bomb around for a month in Gotham.
That's kind of how it happens. I mean, it's all far fetched to me, but I guess it's good escapism.
Oh yeah,
I wish there was
I love the movies. I love superhero movies. I love the comic movies. I love animated movies. So yeah, it's escapism. And
Well, I just learned, and again, this is not telling you guys anything you don't know. Wonder Woman, Gail Gadot, is also one of my ex girlfriends.
yeah.
Uh, hang on, train's coming. It's an express. It's about eight. Oh, this actually is the full line. This one's going all the way to New
Oh
Orleans.
man.
This goes on Mondays and
Does that
Thursdays.
have the club car
Sky
in it
car, yeah.
for?
There's a Sky car here.
For
Anyway,
the,
Gail Gadot, Wonder Woman fame, my ex girlfriend. She actually was in Fast and Furious.
Fast Furious 9? Oh, one of the
Nine.
others.
Yes, she was, and there was a flashback to her. She was actually the girlfriend of the Asian guy. I don't want to give it all away, but
Right. Yeah.
back in the old,
No
I did not
spoilers.
realize that.
Okay.
Han, I believe his name is Han.
All right.
Han's girlfriend was Gail Gadot from Wonder Woman fame, and I was like, "Well, I did." I remembered the form, and I said, "Wow, that is a well-formed character." And she went away. Obviously, when Han went away, well, I guess he's back. But I guess Gail Gadot did actually die in that, so she was free to be Wonder Woman. So I don't think she's coming back to Fast and Furious, but there was a little flashback. She's very good at driving cars, apparently.
I did like Wonder Woman on the DC side. I have not seen Justice League.
Oh my! I haven't seen Justice League either. Go see Wonder Woman 1984. It will answer
Okay.
a lot of your questions
All
about
right.
life. It's just there for you.
Sounds good. Of course, it's
Because
got.
we did live through 1984, and the tie-ins are just they're
Yeah.
golden.
Okay. There's been a lot of movies that go back to the 80s, like Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel went back to the 80s.
Yes, I don't remember the 80s being. Oh, we were in college. I don't remember the 80s being all that great. Uh, but
A lot of
what I would
Michael
say
Jackson.
was they were better than the 70s. And I guess the people who lived through the 70s said, well, it was better than the 60s. And the people in the 60s probably said, no, the 50s were better. 60s was all about war and
protests and
chopped
free
up and stuff.
love and hippies. And
Yeah, and then so
Woodstock.
the 70s were like coming out of the war. The 80s were getting over the 70s. I don't know what the 90s were. I don't know what we were getting over. I
The
don't.
70s were bad because of the inflation and all that other garbage.
Yeah, but we were young children.
We didn't care, yeah.
Right, we were young children. As long as there was a chicken in the pot and Dad had gas for the car, we really
Yeah.
didn't care what he paid.
We didn't care that they were paying 15% on their mortgages because we didn't have to pay the mortgage.
Well,
payments.
and yeah, here's the secret, kids. My dad paid cash for his house. He never had a mortgage.
Yeah.
And I think, did you have a mortgage? You guys?
I did 15 year.
Your parents did?
No, our parents. I
Yeah,
think
I
they
don't-
did
did.
because they got a mortgage to buy it from my grandmother.
Right, and see, so my dad paid cash, so we never had
Yeah.
to.
So
pay for
they had a mortgage, but they ended up paying it off. She got because they wanted her to get the cash.
Yep.
And yeah, when I bought my first house in Elmhurst, that was
there for that?
9 3/8%.
Wow.
And then I refinanced it down to I want to say 6.5%. And then when you go and buy our house in Chicago, we're down in the fours then.
Yeah,
And it's
I
been in
think
the
I
threes
was
and fours
around.
since
I
then.
was around 4.5 when I bought this place
Yeah.
in 2000 or 1999. Then there was all these banking mergers and switchovers and catastrophes, and then after I think it was just 2 years, I put so much money in this house I was cash poor. But then I needed a local bank because I was with WAMU and they'd forgotten to pay the real estate taxes on the main house. They paid it on the garage instead.
Oh,
'Cause they have
nice.
two parcels. They forgot one of the parcels, so I'm paying on two parcels, and they kept refunding me the money.
Ah.
And I said something's not right. And of course, you only have one parcel. No, actually, I have two. Oh, our bad. Oh,
Yeah.
and by the way, you owe us all that extra
The good
money we
old
gave
good
you.
old escrow account.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need you to pay all that extra money next month. You owe $12,000. So I'm just like, what? $12,000? So I went to stop
Hey,
at
and
BMO Harris. And,
That's where Peanut comes in, get his stash.
Right, that's
wherever
where he
he
started
put his
digging in the hole.
money.
Remember where he buried all the gold ingots? And so no, I talked to BMO Harris, and they were very nice. They came out, they appraised the house, and they're like, "You're done with PMI. You're done with everything. Here's a 30-year paper on this house." And well, how did the deal go? It was they gave me 30 years. They gave me an equity line to draw on the house. Everything was lovely, and within 3 months, Did I move everything?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. After 3 months, I got this brilliant
that's good.
idea to. Oop, there you go.
Ooh, there. That's
Kicked it
even
back.
better. Okay, this is why we need to have a director.
Yes, we need boom mics from the top. Anyway,
Yeah, boom cameras there.
after 3 months, I refinanced to get a 15-year mortgage, so it added like $400 to my payment, and then in the fourth month, I lost my job, and so it was not good. And everybody says, "Don't worry, you can roll that back, go back to 30 years, go back." And I said, "No, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to keep the 15-year because I want to save all that interest." And again.
Right.
You could still have a 30-year mortgage and make the extra payment a year, and you could drop it to 15.
Exactly, yeah. But it's
But I
still a
didn't.
little bit lower rate at the 15.
Right. So at 15, it was a lower rate, and I just saved and scrimped and figured out how to sold photos and all of that. And then, I paid it off. I was done in I was done in 16. So 16 years I had the house paid off.
That's the way to do it, man.
It is.
All right.
Once you pay your house off and you go debt free, your
Well,
life
I think
will
this
be
is a
much
good
better.
place, man. A good bit of advice to leave people on this podcast.
Yes.
And
Indeed.
we're going to have the band go ahead and play us on out. And see you next time.
Always here on the porch in zero gravity.